Hi, my name is Dominique Kraft, and I'm going to be presenting the SRNR reading strategy. So, this is just a brief overview of what we'll be going over. First, we're going to define the strategy, then, we're going to talk about how we use the strategy, as well as the research on the strategy, and then, lastly, how the strategy helped me and how we can adapt it for other students. So, what is a reading strategy? Have you ever read something, but after you got done reading, you felt as if you didn't read anything at all? Or do you find yourself feeling unmotivated and not interested in the text in front of you? If this is a common occurrence for you, then implementing a reading strategy will help you retain what you're reading. Reading strategies are tools a reader can use to better decode and comprehend the material they are reading. Using a reading strategy can also improve the way a reader engages with the material, as well as keeping the reader focused on the task at hand. We have learned three reading strategies in this class. However, I believe the S1R strategy seems the most effective and efficient. So, what is the S1R reading strategy? It stands for Survey, Read, Underline Notes, and Review. The first step in this process is survey. So, you're just going to skim through material briefly. You're not going to read yet. Focus on outlines, headlines, conclusions, and summaries. We just want a small overview of the material. The next step is read. So, you're going to begin to actively read in this step, but you'll break your reading into chunks or sections and don't take any notes during this step. The next step is underline. So after you read your section, go ahead and underline and highlight any key information you feel is important for you to review. And then the step after that is going to be take notes. So you're going to take notes by creating a study guide. Put the underlined or highlighted information in your own words on this guide. Maybe summarize any key ideas, maybe create some questions for yourself. And the last step is review. So go ahead and go back to your notes and review them. Review any information you thought was important, answer any study guide questions you may have made, or the practice tests in your textbook, and repeat this process however you like. So, why should we use S1R? The S1R process requires you to interact with the material, allowing you to reach a deep concentration cycle. Rehearsing the same key information multiple times also helps with memory retention. And then breaking up reading into smaller chunks can feel less overwhelming and more manageable. This can motivate you to read. The S1R process already provides study materials, so studying for tests becomes easier as you already recall the information, which can actually save you time. So, what are some metacognitive findings about S1R? So, there's actually some potential advantages of highlighting. Carol L.U. conducted a study, and it was found that highlighting may make the marked portion of your text more memorable because it stands out from the surrounding non highlighted text. When students read pre highlighted passages, they recall more of the highlighted information and less of the non highlighted information compared to students who receive an unmarked copy of the same passage. Highlighting can facilitate long term retention, particularly when students possibly don't have a lot of study time. So, applying S1R, this is my personal experience. So, before I learned about S1R, when it was time to read, especially these harder college level readings, I would read from start to finish, but I felt like I didn't recall anything. I felt like I was skimming through. I had no idea how to actively engage with the material. But after using S1R, I now had a guide to engage with the material more in depth. As part of the process, I broke my reading into sections, and this actually helped me focus on one section instead of just a whole article. Highlighting the material after I read kept myself in check with my understanding about what the material was trying to tell me. So, after using the S1R strategy, I was able to recall the information more easily. When I was quizzed on required readings, my quiz scores from the beginning of the quarter actually began to improve the more I used S1R. So, how can we adapt the S1R strategy? So, not every student learns the same, but we can still use the S1R strategy by adapting it to the needs of different students. Reading can be more difficult for students who are visual learners. These students may want to use different colored highlighters during the underline or highlight step, and using different colors can create a color code for them to recall information more easily. Or you may just want to use symbols on your study guide that you created with S1R. That's all I have for you guys today. So if you have any questions, go ahead and email me. And then this is my works cited.